Hello, welcome to BoxPred. These are my thoughts and prediction on the fight that's happening next week on the undercard to the Manny Pacquiao-Juan Manuel Marquez 3 fight. It's for the WBO light welterweight title and it sees Timothy Bradey going up against Joel Casamayor. My prediction for this fight is a victory for Timothy Bradey, and I think it's going to be by decision. On the face of it, I think basically the younger, quicker, fresher fighter in Timothy Bradey is going to take this one. He's going to be just too much for the aging Casamayor. First of all, with this fight, please take into consideration also that when Timothy Bradey, who is an orthodox fighter, fights against a southpaw, somebody like Devin Alexander, there are problems with headbutts, as we saw in their fight. Joel Casamayor is a southpaw. It is very likely that there are some problems with headbutts in this fight. Now, just quickly about Bradey, I think watch out for that right hand. He likes to throw it with regularity. He caught Devin Alexander with it on a regular basis during their fight. And like against Alexander, I'm expecting him to pressurise Joel Casamayor. I'm expecting Timothy Bradey to very much be the fighter on the front foot in this fight. That's where he likes to operate. That's where he's at his best. Looking at Casamayor, just putting it into perspective, he has lost 5 fights throughout his career, and he is aging, but all of his losses have come against pretty much world-class opposition. You know, very good fighters. You know, we've got Robert Guerrero, Juan Manuel Marquez, Diego Corrales, Castillo, and Freitas. All very good fighters when he fought them. So you know, it's going to take a good performance from Bradey to, you know, he has to be on his game against a guy who has the skills of Casamayor, although Casamayor obviously isn't probably the fighter he once was. The main chance for Casamayor in this fight, I feel, is he's one of the boxers, who I've watched in the past, who he extends his reach greatly. Probably one of the best at doing it that I've seen. He really makes the most of his reach with his jab. This can have pluses and negatives, because on the plus side, it increases his range, and it keeps opponents at bay, and it gives him a bit more pop in his punches because he's putting his whole body behind them. On the other hand, he does tend to lunge a bit, and that can leave him a bit open to counters, and maybe slow him down on the defensive, getting back in the defensive style a bit. And I think Bradey needs to focus on taking advantage of this, trying to counter him when he comes in, because if you're coming in and you're just you know, if your main movement's out of your arm, yeah, then your arm is the main thing moving, and you can very quickly bring it back or defend. Whereas if you're lunging in, like Casamayor tends to lunge in with his whole body, then it's going to take you that split second longer to get to come back and defend, which is something I've noticed. And I think that Timothy Bradey, if he's going to use that to his advantage and not have it work against him, he needs to work on countering that quickly. Especially if he's trying to get close to Casamayor. Casamayor really needs to hope that this works in trying to keep Bradey off him and hopefully gain Bradley's respect. Neither of these guys is a huge puncher, but if you know, I think that they both have that respectable type of power that gains the respect of the opponent without seriously damaging them. And another thing with Casamayor is he can surprise people. We saw him against Katsidis, a fighter who I thought has the ability to just run through you. Casamayor again showed the ability to keep a pressure fighter, or to fight inside against a pressure fighter, because he didn't really keep Katsidis off of him. But he gave as good as he got on the inside, really, and that was a close fight. But Casamayor tried to hold his own, at least inside. He may find this very similar in this fight, because Bradey does like to come on the inside. So Casamayor may be able to try and neutralise that, try and use those tactics again. And countering Bradey as Bradey comes inside is a good idea, because Bradey sometimes, I've noticed, does swing rather wildly and he can be open to counters. So I think Casamayor should work on that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I think that at the end of the day, it's just going to be that Bradey's going to be able to... He may have some problems with Casamayor's range in this fight to begin with, but I think he's going to end up getting through, pressurising Casamayor, and he's just going to have a higher punch volume, and he's going to be able to win on points. That's if it's not stopped by some form of headbutts or some sort of craziness going on. So yeah, I'm going for Timothy Bradey by decision. Please let me know what you guys think, and please subscribe to my channel if you do like it. This is BoxPred, and I'm out.